How often do prospects see through the reframing? Like, come on, you're just stating it to sound nicer. It doesn't matter. Sean, it actually doesn't matter in most cases. It honestly doesn't matter. I'll give you a couple examples. Everybody knows they're coming to a webinar for the most part. This is the exception, and they're going to be pitched something because nobody does anything for free. Not really, right? But part of it is you got to pretend. Just for the same reason when you started dating somebody, you didn't tell them all your deep, dark secrets right away. You kind of played it cool. So there are all these social contracts, as they're called, where people know that these frames exist, and then they play the social norms within those frames. So you can literally tell somebody, like if you watch the Genius webinar pitch, I say, I'm going to do these techniques on you, and then I'm going to reveal the techniques that I did on you. And you know from start to finish I'm using techniques on you, but it's still very effective. Now, there does run the risk of where you can get too outlandish with this. There does come a point where, so George Carlin does this bit on words. I can't remember what it's called, but it's fascinating. And he says minimally magnificent or something like that as a way of phrasing it to a kid who is like has no talent at all, right? Or I'll do you one better, a sandwich artist at Subway. That is an example of a reframe fail or a frame control fail. That's just, that's stupid, a sandwich artist, right? So there are times when you can get too outlandish with this. But for the most part is every frame that I urge you to consider should be an actual greater truth than the obvious truth. So I believe there is no such thing as cost. I truly believe there are only investments. Because I will tell you, even the bad investments I've made have taught me lessons. And I believe that. So if I believe that, how do I assert that truth as powerfully as possible? And it's with a powerful frame. Now, I don't believe Nutella is a healthy breakfast choice. So even if I could pull that frame off, I would not do it because to me it just feels too inauthentic. And there's more to just the result. If I don't feel good and I get a better result, I'd rather get a worse result and feel good. Now, how do we feel good and get the best result? That's the real question, right? And so all we do with frame controls, we say, damn it, if the right people knew what I know about this offer, they would never hesitate to buy. How do we help those people understand what we know to be true, but they don't yet know to be true? And that's where you work on this stuff, right? That's when you say, that's when you have the mosquito knowledge and everybody thinks it's a shark when it's really a mosquito. And you say, now that I'm armed with this knowledge, how do I make it land? Well, if you just come out and say, listen, the shark doesn't kill people like the mosquito does, so you should fear the mosquito instead, nobody's going to listen to you. It's too straightforward. You have to set the frame around it first. And then you could actually deliver this truth, this unobvious hidden truth that once your audience would know that, it would change everything.